My new most hated game. Let's get this shit over with. 6 sessions, no cheats, negative 90 to story, negative 104 to gameplay. Let's get this over with. Let's talk about the 8 positives to story. For the most part, I felt the voice acting was fine. The side quests are down to earth, slice of life affairs, so cool. I like the scene where Noel comes to his senses. I hate that the narrative had to character assassinate him to have such a good scene, but hey, credit where it's due. I like the second confrontation with Snow. I thought that was good stuff. I honestly don't think Snow got character assassinated. I just think his arc was really, really badly written. Once Lumina leaves the scene, the saving Snow is actually a good scene. I like the scene where Dodge wakes up. Completely in character for Zaz, and honestly, it's the best scene in the whole game. Not worthy of multiple pluses, though. I gave the side quest The Avid Reader a positive, because that was actually kind of cool. And I admit, Snow showing up during the Soul Song was actually kind of awesome. That was kind of an epic moment. But then again, I actually kind of like Snow when he's, not a complete fucking tool and an idiot. Which is really rare. Excuse me. That's really rare, admittedly. Let's get through the 98 negatives. Triple negative for the aesthetics. They are really bad in this one. Holy fuck. The character models look bad this time. I don't know. I seriously don't know what the hell happened, but the sprite work is just terrible in this one. Ditto the animations. The brickwork, and the visual storytelling. The presentation is really fucking bad this time. That's actually where most of the negatives came from, believe it or not. I hate the voice acting on Lightning and Lumina, as I feel it is atrocious, and also leads to a negative for voice direction. I have heard better from these actors, and seriously, how the hell do you fail so badly with voice direction? Ugh. Fake drama, empty text, dialogue, pacing, and padding were all triple negatives. Like I said, majority of the negatives are all on the presentation. All of that really speaks for itself, I think. This pacing was just all over the place. It felt like, let me put it to you this way. It only took me 6 sessions to get through this. It felt like it could at least triple that. That's how bad the pacing is. So, yeah. This story also feels padded to hell. Oh, well, I'm on the subject. A lot of fluff that didn't need to be there, if I'm honest. I hate the storyboarding and the story sequencing. The flow of the events just does not work. It does not work. Afui? No. Awful. Excuse me. Especially in regards to the in-engine cutscenes. God, so bad. Also, ditto the camera work. Camera work was also a triple negative. Even in the pre-rendered scenes, the camera work wasn't good, in my opinion. This is some of the worst external and internal continuity that I have ever seen in my life. Characters are inconsistent, events are either not followed up on and should be. Caius coming to mind immediately. His redemption at the end just comes right the fuck out of nowhere. And characters either have their arcs reset or are just straight up character assassinated. My favorite example of the former of that is Vanille, and my most hated example of that is Vanille in that case, and my most hated uh, example of the latter, of the character assassination, is definitely Noel. Look, I like Noel, okay? Hey, to see his character be assassinated as thoroughly and awfully as it was in here in Lightning Returns was just fucking terrible. I hated it. Ugh. I don't like the use of flashbacks. This is some of the worst Babylon 5 effect I have ever seen in my life. And the same with the background lore. The background lore just everything to do with the order and everything is just badly explained. Right? Shit just seems to pop up out of nowhere because it was invented for this game, instead of just flowing organically from the story. Gee, it's almost as if 13.1 was never meant to have a sequel. Doesn't excuse why some of the shit they bring up here in Lightning Returns didn't even show up in 13.2. Or even get a mention in 13.2. Also, funny how we keep running into new locations every time, by the way. I mean, you could kind of get away with that in 13.2 because, 13.1 was like 90% on frickin' Cocoon. But there's no excuse by the time we get here. I gave the plot, the themes, and the writing... The plot, the themes, the world building, and the writing, all triple negatives. Good lord. And again, it's mostly the presentation, more so than the story itself sucking. This story does suck, but it's mostly, well, to me anyway, it's mostly inoffensive until you get to like the supplementary material and then realize this is also a badly presented story. So, yeah, 66 presentation negatives. Good lord, that is the most... I'm pretty sure that's the most negatives I've given a presentation before. Now, let's get into the characters, shall we? Lightning is written inconsistently, and she fucking annoys the piss out of me. Triple negative. Lumina annoys the piss out of me. She's a triple negative. Hope, aka Buenavels, is also a triple negative because, good lord, shut the fuck up. Dude. I hate the character assassination of Noel, so that adds up to Noel getting a triple negative. Period. The intro, which I chop after the first arc visit, is bad and fails to explain anything. It's only not worse than 13.1's intro because it avoids having irritating characters all over the place. It does keep the what the fuck is going on feel of it, though. Got the same amount of negatives, so I guess it's on par with 13.1's awful intro. I hate the entire plot point. I hate of Noel believing that an Oracle Drive prophecy is immutable. Dude, you're living fucking proof that an Oracle Drive prophecy is not immutable. You and Sarah literally changed one. Hope, can you hear me? These machines of yours are driving me nuts! Ugh. The Lumina scenes that occasionally pop up when Lightning returns to the Ark are just... they're repetitive garbage scenes, and I hate them. You're missing something, you're missing something, you're missing something. Yeah, we get it, Lumina, shut up. Also, why the hell does Lightning listen to Lumina? Like, there's not even a hint of why that is. You gotta allude to that, Ed, if you want me to buy it, game. And this game does no such thing. Then there's Noel jumping in to help Lightning when she arrives at the cathedral on the last day. Hey, it should be awesome, but it more so comes across as, oh, now you're in fucking character. Because you sure haven't been for the rest of the fucking game. And it's more Noel than anyone else. If you're noticing. I mean, we could have had an entire arc where he fights to get Yule back. Heck, and that makes the ending scene all the more cathartic. Right? Like, there should have been a whole subplot about Noel trying to deal with Caius. Yes, and get Yule back, but nope. Instead, it's, I fully believe in this prophecy I've seen, because I'm suddenly a fucking moron. Moving on. The explanation of what Lumina is not at a good twist. Negative. The revelation that Hope was Buenavel's was just badly handled. Like, it's literally just, oh, by the way, hey, the Hope we've been talking to is Buenavel's. There's no grandeur there. There's no like, holy crap. Hell, Metal Gear Solid 1 pulled that off brilliantly. Hey, remember? The whole twist with Rex? I won't say anything more for spoiler reasons, but come on, that was just awesome. That entire scene was just amazeballs. I also really fucking hate the plot point. I mean, that gets washed away of the whole Sarah was a fake all along thing. Like, the Sarah that Lightning's been talking to all along has been a fake. Again, just like a fragment of her memory, like basically her past self. She's been arguing with herself the whole time. They didn't earn that. That could have been an interesting and engaging idea. Yeah, right? But they don't even acknowledge it. They basically say Sarah was fake. Not the Sarah you've been talking to is fake. Which is so stupid. Yeah, that one little caveat that the one that she's been talking to has been her inner psyche the whole time. That would have been fine. But as is, no. They failed at making it a profound thing, so triple negative. I also really don't like this ending. I find it just as blech as it is not earned and is just lame. Hey man, don't even get me started on the implications that supplementary material provides for this ending as well. Which, for those not know, there is apparently supplementary material that says, that basically suggests that, all those souls that were saved by Lightning are now going to, simultaneously occupy bodies of other people, of already living people. Which, I mean, we can throw supplementary material out the window, which is why that part didn't get a negative, but I don't know. I prefer the idea that they're just reborn on Earth kind of thing. It would explain why Lightning managed to become a clothing model here in real world. Regardless, though, this outro sucks and is a triple negative. There were a few new positives to the gameplay. Let's go over them. Good save system. I like the fact that it's possible to have the items in your inventory already before you even accept the canvas quests. That was good. I like the mini-map. The map is decent. It's not great, but it's decent. Items are not wasted if you escape, so that's good. Good bestiary. You can skip the tutorials, which is good because they suck. Enemy HP is almost always available. Good. Status effects are not permanent. Army of One got a triple positive for just being an awesome attack, and I freaking love it. And this game actually does have a good New Game Plus, so 2 positives to that. Now let's talk about the 118 negatives to gameplay. Oh god, here we go. The DLC feels pay to win, which is hilarious because I didn't win, and even though I paid it. The tutorials suck and are not informative. There's also some bad tutorialization. This is my most hated core combat in the entire series. I'm just gonna go ahead and say that. Like, seriously, Type 0, Stranger Paradise, all of those other ones could be really bad for all I know. They won't be as bad as this, in my opinion. I don't see how. I really don't see how. Trash HP is a triple negative. Boss HP is a triple negative. The boss design is a triple negative. I gave a triple negative for the encounters and the rate at which they spawn, which is basically the encounter rate. I gave a negative for enemy variety. I gave a triple negative to the power progression curve. I fucking hate the use of stamina in this game. That is a triple negative. Enemy placement it started bad and then it just kept getting worse as the game went on. Unintentional banter skipping. The usual shenanigans of that, a triple negative there. I really ended up hating the fucking stagger mechanic. Like, oh, I could have given it a third. You know what? I'll stick to. No, yeah, I'll stick to 2. I'll stick to 2. Because the stagger doesn't really. The stagger doesn't really actively fight against you. It's just a really crappy system. So I gave the audio spam a triple negative because by the end I was just sick of the audio spam. The schematic system is not very good. The big problem is that at first it looks robust, but the problem is that it's really limiting and it just does not work. And it kind of felt like I needed the DLC in order to have garbs that were worth a damn. That's not necessarily true, but at the same time, ugh, you know. The canvas missions are all just frickin' fetch quests, and that kind of just sucks. I gave a triple negative for walkthroughitis because, oh god, if there's any game in the series that deserves a triple negative for walkthroughitis, it's this one. And, are you playing without a guide? Good fucking luck. And be ready to take advantage of the New Game Plus, and of the admittedly kind of lucrative New Game Plus, because, yeah. Backtracking is bad, and the options are lacking, and this is some of the worst viscerality I have ever seen. I feel way too goddamn weak. My attacks just do not have any kind of punch. Also, this is some of the worst info in game I have ever seen in my life. The game gives you nothing and expects you to go and figure everything out. In most cases, it's fine, either because there is some guidance, but in a lot of cases, that's fine because there is some guidance, and it's like, hey, maybe you should go this way first, or whatever, right? But here, there's absolutely nothing, and, oh yeah, that's right, there's a fucking time limit. So, yeah. Yeah, triple negative. I gave the gameplay flow a triple negative because, good lord. There are times where I basically had to go to the frickin' inn and just waste a bunch of hours in order to progress, and that's just lame. I wish chronostasis was more useful. And this is where we got into some enemies that I hated fighting. There were 3 in particular that really pissed me off. The first one, Schrodinger. 12,000 HP, he basically takes little damage, and oh yeah, he likes to heal himself a lot. Yeah. Ugh, and then there's Earth Eater. I gave 6 negatives for this fucker. 3 for the version of him in the Death Dunes, and 3 for the version in the final dungeon. God, I hated fighting that thing. I mean, spam status effects. X can sometimes cheat and immediately reestablish them. Oh yeah, and he also has redonkulously high defense until you stagger him. Yeah, and considering stagger is not the most intuitive mechanic in this game, oof. So yeah. Astra Proliflorin is just an asshole. It is still an asshole. It's just in this game, he doesn't have the barrier swapping. Thank God for that. Escape is useless sometimes because the enemies will just quickly respawn if you stay in the spot for more than like a couple of seconds. Seconds at most. I hate being forced back into the arc constantly. I gave a triple negative to the padding, the pacing, and the padding. I think gameplay-wise, I hate the camera as it feels like it is constantly drunk in gameplay. I hate the entire conceit of the game being based on having a time limit. It's just, and also having to wait for specific things times for specific events to proc. That is just, oh God, what the hell were they thinking? Like, it's seriously, it's basically, I gotcha. And that's terrible. Bad optimization. Just all around. Most of the time, I really don't feel like the items you get are worth that much of a damn. Some of them are, but those are the exception, not the rule. Which is what good itemization is. I hate the flow of exploration. The flow of exploration, I feel it sucks. Triple negative there. Triple negative for for a triple negative of Status Effect Fetish, because, yeah. Oh, right, I gave segregation on the gameplay. Oof. But yeah, it's really bad. Story-wise, it's whatever, but in gameplay, ugh, no. No, just no. And it all stems from the fact of, why the hell when we have Cure as an ATB ability instead of, using it as a freaking EP ability, which is extremely limited? Come on, we're already having to wait for the ATBs. That's balanced enough. Ugh, whatever. The knockback stun locking, that's a triple negative. I hate the cosmetics in this game. Triple negative. I also hate the Wildlands. They are boring to navigate. They're boring to complete missions in, and it just has too much waiting around for stuff to happen. So that's a triple negative. The Temple of the Goddess is rife with bad platforming and ectopuddings galore, which by that point was the worst enemy by far. Until we got to the Earth Eater, but that's beside the point. I hated fighting Caius. I felt he was just a jerk in terms of fighting him. Oh yeah, and defeating him gets us nowhere narratively either, so... Anyways. Parandus was another pain in the ass boss. Right, this was the barrier fucker in the Dead Dunes. I hated him. God, that was such a pain in the ass. Also, I absolutely hate the final round against Buenavels, and that is what this triple negative is all about. He is... that final form is a cheap cunt, and I goddamn hate him. Fuck fighting Buenavels. Those frickin' asshat. If I ever fight him again, it'll be on the PC where I can just cheat and raise my stats to infinity. Or maybe if I, and that's a big if. Translation, no, I'm never playing this game again. Especially with this triple negative outro, which just fails across the fucking board. Ugh. Only thing that was okay about this outro was the fact that the final dungeon was not that bad. Ugh. I know I blazed through that as fast as I could. But you gotta understand something. I don't care. I wanted this to be done and over with. And the sad part is I've still got one more video to record about this fuck heap of a game. And then I'm done. Then I have covered all of my bases and I never have to do anything with it ever again. Outside of maybe mentioning it on mentioning it during the the Final Fantasy Marathon's finale stream where I'll rank everything. Well, we all know what's at the bottom of that list because no other Final Fantasy is going to reach these heights. God, I fucking hope not, at least. Honestly, if we look at the list of the Final Fantasy Marathon, which reminds me, I need to update it now that I finished that. But yeah, no, I mean, maybe Type 0, but even then, and I doubt it. FF15 won't reach these depths. Stranger of Paradise, I doubt it. 16, I doubt it. Dirge of Cerberus won't, and the rest is all self-explanatory, really. You know, it's funny. You think something can't be worse, and then something comes along and just shocks you. I figured something would eventually be worse than 13-1. I just wasn't expecting it to be Lightning Returns of all games, and for us to hit it 4 games later. Which only was 4 and not 2 because we got interrupted by Nexomon and Nexomon Extinction. But the end, I suppose. At least I never have to look at this view the Lightning Trilogy ever again. If anything, I can just watch my stream of it and get the gist of what I need. Which is funny because the only thing I'm going to be focusing on is the first game, because the first game at the very least has enough for me to work with. Like, I can actually work with the first one and kind of, mold it and reshape it. But yeah, 2 and Lightning Returns, no, not gonna work with it ever again. So, the end, I suppose. The only thing that's left now, the only thing that I have left to record, is one that will not be seen until next year. And that'll be the Woolsten proper video on it. The Rent View. Oh, boy. So I'm going to sign out of this and go work on that. Because then I can finally just say that I am actually really done with this shit. But that's it for the rating video, so Blue Wolf Hogs of the Lore Walkers signing out. Have a good one. I said it on stream, and I'll say it here. Just avoid the 13 trilogy.